Hi, welcome. I'm Katy from Success for Solopreneurs. I would like to welcome you to my garden or to part of my garden. Um, I was actually here today visiting my garden, well, actually over the past couple days, and I realized a couple things that I've learned from growing a garden here that also pertain to my business. So I figured I would share them with you here at the Success for Solopreneurs community. First and foremost, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I definitely learned this. I don't know how much money I probably spent when we first got our garden up and running to learn how to do things. My spinach did not grow. One of my tomato plants over here that you can't see because it's actually not working at all. It's not growing, and I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know what's going wrong. It was just, a mistake. Mistakes happen. So that's definitely something I learned from having the garden. It's to, not necessarily be so completely invested in the outcome like that, and know that not everything is going to work. You plant seeds, they don't all always come up. Another thing I learned that is definitely very important is it takes patience. Much like almost anything in life, you just have to wait. You can't rush it. I am sitting here right now as I'm recording this video looking across the way at my neighbor's gardens, and I'm looking at all of his juicy red tomatoes and knowing that behind me in my very own tomato plant are still itty bitty teeny tiny little green things that are weeks away from actually being something that I can eat. So you have to be patient. When you grow seeds, it takes time for those seeds to even turn into little seedlings. And then it takes even more time for those seedlings to actually produce fruit, and then for that fruit to be ready. So you need to actually, you need to be patient with it. Another thing I learned having started a garden this year is that there's a learning curve. You don't know everything. You won't know everything. There's always somebody that can teach you something new. There's always a book that you can read. There's always something that you can learn, a website that you can visit, a class you can attend. You don't know everything. And that's definitely like business. You'll never know all there is to know. And in fact, you need to be a lifetime learner. If you're not a lifetime learner and you're not continuously going out there looking to learn about new things, your business isn't going to continue to keep growing. And along those same lines, something else is don't be afraid to ask for help. My green beans, I was growing green beans, and it tells you, to plant a bush, and I planted a bush. I didn't know it was only going to grow to be about this tall, and it was only going to, at any given time, have about 5 little green beans on it. 5 little green beans is not enough to make a meal, or even a side serving for 2 people. So one of my neighbors, one of my fellow gardeners, actually came over and told me that if you plant 4 or 5 at once along a spoke, a tower, a pole, that you'll actually get enough growth, enough vegetation that when you're ready to eat your green beans, you will have plenty to eat. And lastly, this I think is the biggest thing. It kind of ties it all together. Talking about the patience, talking about the making mistakes, talking about the not being afraid to ask for help, is the payoff. In the end, it is, I have a string that I'm playing with, sorry. In the end, it is so very worth it. For my garden in particular, nothing beats that salad that I'm able to serve with our dinner, and knowing that I grew those vegetables from scratch. Even if I didn't grow all of them and I just grew some of them. Like we had a salad last night. I didn't grow the lettuce because learning curve. It's too hot out here and the lettuce is actually bolting and not growing correctly. So I bought the lettuce from the store, but I was able to, everything else that was in that salad was stuff that I had actually grown myself. So the payoff is so worth it in the end. And the more you learn, the more you practice, the more mistakes you make, the more you learn from your mistakes, the better at it you get. And that is, again, just like business. The more you do, the more you learn, the payoff, comes in the end. And much like anything, any action, as I keep saying over and over again, is better than no action. So any step you take, even if it's just throwing seeds down and hoping that they'll bloom and they'll turn into flowers, that's something. You're never going to get flowers if you don't at least throw the seeds down. So you have to take a first step. So again, welcome. Thank you for visiting my garden and listening to my wind chimes. Know that I will be munching down on my tomatoes soon. I cannot wait. Until then, I'll just have to eat my cucumbers because that's what's ready. So thank you for taking the time to listen, and thank you for stopping by Success for Solopreneurs. Have yourself a wonderful day. Thanks.